So, we all know Rome was great at two things: conquering most of the known world and making wildly dramatic decisions. But here's one you probably didn't hear about in history class: crucifying dogs. Yep, the empire that built aqueducts and invented pizza also decided that their furry friends were public enemy number one. And before you ask, no, it wasn't because of a pooper scooper law violation. So, let's hop in the old time machine and set the dial to 390 BC. At that time, Rome was dealing with your typical ancient city problems. You know, rival armies, political scheming, and, of course, a complete lack of Netflix. Then came the Gallic invasion, led by some dude named Brennus. Long story short, the Gauls decided to say, "What's up?" to Rome's defenses, which were about as effective as a paper umbrella in a hurricane. Now, we humans have certain expectations when it comes to dogs. Like, if an army of war-painted barbarians shows up at your door, you kinda hope your loyal mutt will at least throw out a woof or two. But nope, these Roman dogs must have been on their 5th nap of the day because they did nothing. And while the dogs were enjoying their beauty sleep, a bunch of geese, yeah, the same creatures that attack you for stepping too close to a pond, started squawking their heads off. These sacred geese of Juno, as it turns out, were the real MVPs of the night. They honked like a bunch of drunk uncles at a wedding, waking up the Romans just in time to prevent total disaster. Naturally, Rome was saved and the city celebrated its heroes, the geese. Because nothing says thank you like pampering a bunch of birds that will literally chase you to the ends of the earth for a piece of bread. But the dogs? Oh boy. Instead of just giving them a stern look and maybe withholding belly rubs for a few days, the Romans did what any completely rational society would do. They started crucifying them. And not just the guilty ones from that fateful night, oh no, that would be too convenient. This became a thing. An actual event. Every year, on July 18th, the people of Rome would gather for a festival called Supplicia Caenum, the torture of dogs, for all my non-Latin viewers. Now, you might be thinking, why would they crucify random innocent pups every year? Well, my dear viewer, it was to remind everyone, dogs, cats, people, whatever, that falling asleep on the job is a big no-no in the Eternal City. Duh. The geese, meanwhile, got treated like little feathered royalty. They were paraded around, probably fed grapes by toga-clad servants, and maybe even had their own little section in the Roman baths. Dogs, though? Nah. They got the Jesus treatment. And look, I get it. If your town nearly got sacked by invaders, you'd be mad too. But crucifying dogs? That's like burning your entire house down because you found one spider. Not exactly what you'd call a balanced response. It's like, hey, instead of training the dogs better, let's just make them into medieval scarecrows. That should do it. And the weirdest part, this wasn't a short-term overreaction. The Romans kept this tradition alive for centuries. I'm talking hundreds of years of, well, it's that time of year again. Grab the nails, honey, we're doing the dog thing. Imagine being a tourist in Rome back then. Ah, yes, the majestic Colosseum, the beautiful temples. Wait a minute, why is there a parade of dogs? Oh. At some point, someone must have said, hey, maybe this is kind of extreme? But Rome was the empire of overkill. Extreme was their middle name. Why settle for a little violence? You could just crank it up to 11. The whole thing ended eventually, but not before Rome left an indelible mark on history as the civilization that thought giving dogs the death penalty was a legitimate way to solve their security problems. So, next time your dog doesn't bark at the mailman, take a moment to reflect. At least you're not living in ancient Rome where, oops, I overslept, could mean the worst day of your dog's life. And hey, if you enjoyed the video, consider hitting that subscribe button and ringing the bell. Alright, see ya.